While the deep sea is quite a fascinating place, it is home to some terrifying animals that are best left alone. Many movies have explored these creatures, and The Meg was one such film that introduced us to a prehistoric shark species known as the Megalodon. The Megalodon was a gigantic shark that was at least 50 to 60 feet long, and a group of scientists encountered it at an underwater research facility after it emerged from the depths of the Mariana Trench. The Meg was quite a hit with the audience, and the recent sequel, Meg 2, The Trench, has been a solid entertainer. Today, we will explore the Megalodon in detail and tell you all about this giant monster's life cycle, diet, and origins. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Exploring Megalodon origins and their life cycle. Also known as the Otodus Megalodon, this creature is an extinct species of mackerel shark that existed in the oceans around 3.6 million years ago. These creatures were initially a part of the Lamnidae family, but they are now classified as creatures belonging to an extinct species of the family known as the Odontodontinae. The Megalodon are apex predators, and they are gigantic creatures who bear a resemblance to several other sharks, such as the whale shark, basking shark, and sand tiger shark. It is quite challenging to figure out their dimensions, but it is safe to assume that they were between 10 to 20 meters tall and weighed around 48 to 103 metric tons. They had sharp jaws that were built to grab their prey and break their bones, and these jaws had the capacity to exert force in excess of 182,000 newtons. Fossil remains of this species' teeth and vertebrae suggest that the Megalodon would grab their prey and use their jaws to injure their chests and puncture their lungs and heart. The Megalodon went after creatures such as whales, sea turtles, and seals, but they also consumed smaller fish and whales in warm coastal waters. While Megalodons went extinct millions of years ago, the Meg explores this creature as it is awakened from its extinction after a hidden ecosystem below a thermocline layer in the ocean creates an environment for it to grow. They were believed to be extinct, but were shockingly still alive, and scientists discovered them in the unexplored depths of the Mariana Trench below the ocean floor. Two of these gigantic sharks appeared in the first Meg movie, while 4 more joined the party in Meg 2. The Megalodon life cycle involved live birth, and they preferred giving birth in warm coastal regions. Such areas provided them with enough food to sustain themselves and their younger ones, and offered protection from any other deep-sea creatures that typically steered clear of the coasts. As an infant, a Megalodon was about 3.5 meters in length, and we also see a young Megalodon at the end of the first Meg movie. While the movie does not explore the Megalodon's life cycle or reproductive processes, we can presume that they give live birth after nurturing the unborn shark in their wombs and bringing them into the world in a safe, warm water setting. Typically, the Megalodon fossils were found worldwide in places such as Europe, Africa, America, and Australia, and they thrived in subtropical regions. They could withstand temperatures between 1 to 24 degrees Celsius and were mesothermal creatures whose body temperatures were higher than that of their external setting. What was their hunting strategy and diet? Megalodons were giant killers who terrorized mammals in the ocean, and we can't even imagine the kind of damage that they caused over the course of 1 million years before they went extinct. The Meg movies only give us a glimpse into the kind of havoc these creatures wreaked, but their fossil remains have helped us uncover their hunting strategies and diet. The Megalodon skeleton was made of cartilage that cannot be fossilized, but their teeth could be fossilized and studied in order to learn more about them. Their largest known teeth are over 20 centimeters long, and there is no doubt that even their teeth size was bigger than any other shark that has ever existed. When they lived over 1 million years ago, no species was safe from them in the ocean, and Megalodons were apex-level predators that devoured any and everything in their paths. However, they especially preferred feeding on fatty mammals, and scientists have discovered shark bones with huge teeth marks that match those of a Megalodon. Some evidence shows that Megalodons fed on cetaceans such as Piscobalaenas, which were around 5 meters long. There is evidence that the Megalodons could devour a 7-meter-long sperm whale in hardly 4 bites. To kill something so big, the Megalodons required powerful jaws and a sharp bite, and their mouths would have to open at least 3 meters wide. Their hunting strategy included sneaking up on their victims from below and immediately incapacitating incapacitating them by taking a massive bite out of their guts. Megalodons could easily injure other gigantic sharks by using this strategy, and these sharks would end up dying even before they could attempt to escape. While this was usually how these predators operated, younger megalodons faced quite some trouble finding prey. Moreover, it was pretty common for members of this species to practice cannibalism, and most infant megalodons hardly made it past their childhood without being killed off by their own species. How did the megalodon survive as the apex predator? In the real world, megalodon fossils suggest that they resided in the Isthmus of Panama, which connects North and South America. This area could be best described as a shallow sea located near the equator, and it was ideal for a mother megalodon to give birth to a young one. While it isn't certain, their pregnancies lasted around a year, and they were more gigantic than usual during this stage of their lives. After giving birth, the young megalodons learned to be aggressive and hunt their prey on their own, and they would feed on the fish, mollusks, and tiny marine animals readily available in this area. While the mother megalodon stayed around her children, she didn't look after their diets and primarily ensured their protection. She would establish her territory and ensure that other species, such as the hammerheads, didn't try to attack her young ones, thereby ensuring their survival. On the other hand, male sharks typically acted independently and lived alone, and they were significantly smaller and weaker than their female counterparts. Until around 2.6 million years ago, the females would hunt and give birth in shallow seas after mating with the males. But the world soon started changing, and continents drifted together. The ocean life underwent severe changes, making it difficult for these apex-level predators to survive in a world that was foreign to the one they had lived in for millions of years.
This place, Meg-proof. I mean, Jonas was always afraid of this, but I was also thinking...
How did the megalodon go extinct? Megalodons had the ability to shed and replace their teeth throughout their lifetime, which eventually fossilized and gave us some proof of their existence millions of years later. While they were the most dangerous species of shark at some point, they went extinct around 3.5 million years ago due to several external factors. To begin with, the global climate had started cooling down during this time, leading to the formation of glaciers. Subsequently, sea levels started dropping, and many coastal regions that were the habitats of megalodons, especially during their reproductive process, had dried up. Many marine sites were lost due to low sea levels, which affected several sea animals to the extent that they went extinct. As a result, the megalodons suffered a shortage of prey, and they couldn't find enough food to sustain their gigantic bodies. They had high energy demands, and the lack of prey species directly impacted their bodily functioning and significantly slowed them down. Since they had lower energy levels, they were unable to attack their prey at the same place as before, and the environmental changes kept weakening them more and more with each passing day. While they were once invulnerable, they were now on the same level as other predators and had to compete with them to get their hands on food. With changing times, megalodons gradually failed to adapt and survive in a newer world, and they went extinct soon after. What if the megalodon never went extinct? While scientists have concluded that the megalodons went extinct, some people still believe that they might exist in the deepest parts of the ocean, such as the Mariana Trench. I mean, how could we be sure, right? Unfortunately, this theory doesn't hold much weight, primarily because of the fact that they would have wreaked havoc if they were still alive. In the event that the megalodon had never gone extinct, they would have been exploring the warm waters of the Mediterranean and the Caribbean and lingered around the coasts of Australia and California. They would have created serious trouble on the coast, and they were very much capable of attacking an entire ship's crew. They would not have attacked a singular human because that would have hardly satiated their hunger, and scientists have also predicted that these predators consumed around 1,200 kilograms of fish every day. They preferred hunting whales, sharks, or even dolphins to fulfill their calorie intake, and consuming a mere human wouldn't be worth their time, especially if they had to make their way up to the shore and risk getting injured by other humans. However, there is no doubt that the megalodon wouldn't have hesitated going after a group of humans, especially if they ventured out into the sea and readily provided a fulfilling meal for this predator. In this way, one would find carcasses all over the ocean as these creatures would feed on other fish species as well as humans, and then leave their remains behind. Megalodons would shed their teeth several times throughout their life, and these teeth would also be found everywhere in the ocean if this species hadn't gone extinct. Moreover, if megalodons still existed, there would be a severe shortage of seafood for humans. While megalodons went extinct due to changing temperatures, the oceans are starting to warm up again due to climate change, and they certainly would have thrived in this environment if they were still around.
It was better than last time.
Conclusion. To sum it up, the Megalodon is truly one of the most fascinating deep-sea creatures that have ever made an appearance on the big screen. It is certainly terrifying to even imagine having to face such a monster in real life, but fans thoroughly enjoyed seeing this predator in action. The Megalodon is an interesting representation of animal life in the depths of the ocean, and it was quite entertaining to see how this creature stirred up more trouble for humans in Meg 2: The Trench.